In the gospel, we get this kind of overview about some of the things that Jesus was doing, and we hear about how people came and they begged to be able to touch the tassel on his cloak. Well, where would they have even thought of that? Well, that one woman who reached out in the midst of the crowd and secretly touched his tassel and was healed. Jesus called her out and said, "Your faith has made you well." And we see, wow, that then her faith stirred up the faith of the people around her, of other people saying, well, if it worked for her, well, maybe it'll work for me. And it did. It did. The power that we can have to help other people by our own witness of love. In the first reading today, we hear about how King Solomon's finally built the temple. Now he's bringing the Ark of the Covenant into the temple. And, all these people are there and everyone is surrounding. And when the priests left the holy place, the cloud filled the temple of the Lord. Now that cloud was the glory Shekinah cloud that was there with the people of Israel as they walked through the desert, that filled the meeting tent and now is filling the temple, so that the priests could no longer minister because of the cloud, that they were so filled, it was so filled with God's presence that the glory of the Lord filled the temple. Now, this is one of those things, it's called the scandal of particularity. How, if God is everywhere, how can he be in a particular place? How, if God is the creator of all things and in everything, everywhere, at all times, how can he be in this particular temple? How can he be in this particular person? Jesus. How can he be confined to one space if he is everywhere? Now, I'm not going to give you the answer to that because I don't know. But the truth is that he is both everywhere, and then he can also be in this place in a particular way. In fact, when we look at the Eucharist, the Second Vatican Council says that the Eucharist is the presence of Christ par excellence. He's present in many different ways at the Mass, but this is the highest way he is present, is in the Eucharist. And if the cloud filled the temple of the Lord, that physical temple that Solomon built however many thousands of years ago, how much more when he says that we are the temple of God, and he comes and enters us in the Eucharist, that he fills us. And there's the objective reality of the Eucharist and there's a subjective reality. The objective reality is, this is really Jesus. No matter what we say, this is really Jesus. The subjective reality is, how am I receiving him? Am I expecting him to fill me, to fill my temple, to be such a... Can't come up with a word. But to fill me so much that there's room for nothing else. Am I expecting that? Tying this in with what I said about the gospel, when we see someone who has a profound experience of receiving our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament, maybe brings them to tears or transforms their life or heals them in a special way, doesn't it touch us? Doesn't it stir up our faith and say, I need to be more open to what God is doing in the Eucharist and these sacraments? So we ask the Lord for that grace today, that he come, not in cloud, but in sacrament and in reality. He come not just into our bodies in the Eucharist, but that we're so open that he may fill us, our bodies, our minds, our souls, that he may fill us and flood us with that cloud of his presence. And then that we may also be a witness to others the incredible gift that God is giving us in this sacrament.